This next 6 months, I think, knowing what's going on in the world and where it's going, we will probably accelerate. So I think it looks more like 2016-15 cycle. The big thing that changed was we lost trust. We lost trust in the system. They lost trust in banks. They lost trust in intermediaries. They've lost trust in media. They've lost trust. Foreign governments have lost trust. So nobody has trust. So, well, crypto is a trust-based system, which is interesting. So I'm very, very positive crypto, but more importantly, a lot of money went in VC into the space, and there was a lot of people building product. So the next phase of what adoption looks like will come. And I don't know what it is. Could come from anywhere. Could come from gaming, could come from digital ID, could come from brands in the NFT and Web3 space, could come from DeFi, I don't know, but it's coming. So I think that's very interesting. So I'm very bullish on crypto overall.
Raoul Pal predicts a strong 6 months for crypto, comparing it to the 2016 cycle rather than the 2019 pullback. He anticipates increased adoption and innovation in areas like gaming due to the influx of venture capital investment. Crypto serves as a trust-based system and a long-term saving solution, offsetting the debasement of traditional currencies. Sovereign wealth funds and individuals are shifting towards crypto for financial independence and security outside government-regulated systems. Raoul highlights the transformative potential of Ethereum, its liquid yield, and the emergence of a new digital global economy built on top of the network. Raoul has been in the field of investing for more than 20 years, and he is one of the most famous people in the crypto world. He made some interesting comments in this video, so make sure to watch till the end.
The big thing that changed, people lost trust in the American dream or the European dream. They lost trust in banks. They've lost trust. But what it means that, okay, if you don't trust anybody, you need something that helps you. That traditionally was played by gold. You know, I don't trust your money, you don't trust my money, I don't trust that you're going to do this, so I'm going to keep gold. But gold was also seizable. So crypto played a role in all of this, and it plays it at many levels. It's clearly not a system of money yet because it's too volatile. It's impossible to try and deal with daily transactions for bread in a Bitcoin price that goes up and down, up 700% and down 70%. That's the way to destroy an economy, volatile money. But in terms of long-term overall savings, because it offsets the debasement of currency, which is driven by the debt and the demographics and everything else, it works very well indeed, in fact, better than anything else. And because we've got this ongoing adoption of the technology. So when you go to, firstly, who's the biggest players in the world that are potentially moving into this market? And I think you and I have even talked about this in the past, it's the sovereign wealth funds. They have an infinite time horizon, and what they need is independence over all things. Now, most of them have an enormous amount of US treasuries, which they will do because they have dollar debts, dollar economy, everything else. So it's not like we're just going to sell all our treasuries, but they need other things. Now, they've been buying gold at record pace, obviously, because if the US seizes or renders useless the Russian reserves in US treasuries, then why would anybody want to hold US treasuries over an extended period of time? You either have to be friends of the US or you risk it. So I see a role, and that's, I think, one of the reasons why the Middle East is becoming very active participants in the market overall. And I think for individuals, because of the lack of trust, it's one thing we can trust because it's not driven by a government. All the governments can do is try and regulate it, but they can't get rid of it. And it actually empowers people to think that you're fighting the government when it comes to regulation. I mean, just look at Twitter. People love an enemy, and Gary Gensler is like enemy number one because he represents the old system, the system that let us all down. And he's kind of saying, look, we're there to protect you. And everyone's going, fuck you, you never protected us in the first place. We'd rather take our own risks with our own money, which is the agency thing that you talked about. So I think that trend is unstoppable. But then obviously the layer of Web3 that lays on top of it, you know, how can you use this technology in other new and unique ways is the driver that turns it into a Metcalfe's law adoption model because you're building systems on top of a network itself. So it kind of becomes self-reinforcing. The other really, really big thing, and people don't really understand it yet, Is Ethereum having a yield and a liquid yield out to 12 months? It means you've got a money market curve for the internet. And that gives you a value of money, gives you an ability to price risk. You know, what is a yield on a CeFi platform, risk adjusted versus ETH pure staking? You know, it's very interesting because you're creating, I think ETH is actually almost a complete global digital economy right now, which is very interesting to me. And I'm going to be writing a piece on this as well about how in front of our eyes, we've actually built a whole new economy. I haven't really realized it. We kind of see bits of it.
That was the reason the guest of this video on why he is excited on the future of crypto, but there is something huge that not many people are paying attention to. And this is what Raoul going to talk about in the following clip. Stick until the end of the video to understand the whole idea.
This is the largest disinflationary shock the world will ever have. And it will keep playing out as these other exponential technologies become implemented. Just think, I was in New York when I was reading a thread on Twitter. I was in an Uber, and it was a thread about the rise of autonomous vehicles in California and how this guy, whether he's in the industry, he's around the tech industry, he's like, you know, 3 years ago I'd see a couple of these things and now I see them every day, 10 times a day. And I looked around me in New York City and every car was an Uber, a taxi, a bus driver. And you're like, oh my God, AI, all of this stuff together is the biggest disinflationary shock the world will ever face. The WTO agreement and China entering it was gigantic, but this is of a different order of magnitude. So that's good in some respects, but that disinflationary shock is all part of this work replacement. Why is it disinflationary? Because it replaces humans. And it replaces humans at a scale. So it's kind of like, I think why people are accepting of it so fast, because it's so inevitable, it's because there is no other choice. What are you going to do? Shake your fist at the sky? And we don't know what it means. We don't know what it means for work. We know that if you get it right, you augment yourself on a scale of which you cannot comprehend. Augmented humans is a very attractive thing. So we become super productive units. That's okay once the baby boomers have died off. It's not okay when we've got too many of us around still, because we just don't need as many humans. That's the hypothesis. Now, could it be that we create enough productive activity through this change in productivity that we can employ more humans in these kind of areas? I don't know. But the problem is we've got robots coming as well. So if the AI doesn't get your job, the robots will get your job. So it's a very, very scary place for work. But oh my God, if you leverage this, I think it's a renaissance for both global economies and for people themselves. You know, one of my hypotheses for Web3 was that the rise of all of this is leading to a need to support incomes for people. This is a universal basic income argument. Fine. And there's ways of solving that both in the private sector and state sector. State sector is a problem because we don't have enough money, so we have to tax the robots maybe to get the money. But we're all underfunded, we've got this problem with debt. There is a way that you and I can restrict our data online because we have agency over our data and therefore sell it to the platforms and the advertisers and get income for. And I was talking to Yatsui and I had a big breakthrough, which was universal basic equity, which is in Web3, in these decentralized nations, digital nation state societies, communities, you can own the assets or the currency of those communities, and you can be rewarded for being a good community member. And we're seeing that all over the place now. It's pretty nascent, but it's everywhere. And if that is the case, then we can replace our purpose. And our purpose could be society and community. Now, what that means, could it be for work output? Could it be for leisure output? It doesn't really matter. Could it be for cultural output? For sure. You know, for sure, Louis Vuitton understand this. For sure, Nike understands this. Is the loyalty of Web3 and tokenized assets, whether it's a loyalty currency community currency like Starbucks, or whether it's an NFT like Adidas, these things are making people participate in the success of those brands, those cultures. And we will see this in music, and we'll see it all over the place. So I'm actually interested in how do we adapt, because we will not be able to all be supercomputing AI geniuses with amazing prompt skills, and even prompt skills go away pretty soon. And there'll be such a proliferation of newsletters. We're already seeing it. How many bloody AI newsletters are there? There's like 50, and they've all come, and they're all being written by ChatGPT-4. So there's excess content, excess everything else, and we're going to need a purpose and a meaning and a place of trust. And a place of trust is these digital societies online. It's the digital network state idea of Balaji, something I've been talking about for a very long time, is this way that we live our digital lives. Like, you and I, we've never met. I've spoken to you so many times. I'll consider you a friend. We hit each other up. We'll chat about stuff. We will talk to each other in this digital representation. We live in the same community, which is somewhere the nexus of FinTwit and crypto Twitter. And those are the overlaps. And we're both kind of in the media area as well. So there's these number of overlaps of these digital societies that we both belong to. And that's very different a world than it was before 2008. That didn't exist. I mean, Facebook was 2012. So again, it's one of the answers for society is staring us in the face, which is we can find a purpose. And the purpose is humanity, culture, brand, businesses, by doing it together with more agency, where we get to choose. I mean, what I love about these digital sovereign states is you can just pick up your assets, sell them, and leave and move to the next one. It's really hard for you to leave the United States. My wife is a US citizen, and we live in the Cayman Islands. And it's a nightmare because US tax and US jurisdiction, because the US is actually a very unfree place once you travel. You can't open a bank account. You can't do anything. It's actually very difficult. But these digital sovereign states, you can just sell it. You just move on and move on to the next one. Don't like Bored Ape, I want to join CryptoPunks. I don't like Ethereum, I want to join Solana. I don't like, I like Bitcoin, I want to just own Bitcoin. It's becomes very, very, very interesting. So I think there's a solve there. So let's go to the broader one, which is society itself. Society is going to struggle with the exponential age, not just AI. It's going to really struggle to understand what is truth, what is my role, who humans are, and where is this all leading to? Because if you put unlimited energy at a low price, virtually zero, you add AI, robotics, and all of this stuff, you add networks from space outside of sovereign control, which is what's happening. I mean, people don't really understand space is a non-sovereign place of which there is a massive commercialization going on a scale most people don't understand. We've got, I've lost my train of thought, but we've got all of this kind of mega trends going on, and for society itself, I don't know how we can keep up, and how we do not draw the ... add quantum computing end of humanity. I cannot get there where we don't have that. Because once you put exponential computing power with exponential knowledge, with which self-learns, with zero cost of energy, I mean, humans are pointless.
In conclusion, Raoul presents the same idea that the deflation of the economy caused by the rise in use of technology and AI, plus the loss of trust in the current financial system, will be the main fuel of the next crypto bull market. That was, in short, the whole idea of this video. Hope you enjoyed.